For all of these exercises, you're going to be using a small resistance band. They come in a variety of different tensions. Find a tension that is challenging to you, but allows you to keep the form that you're trying to achieve. In other words, if the band's too tight, it will break down your form and you will not get the benefit that we're looking for with these exercises. So finding that right band may take a few attempts, but just do your best. For these first few exercises, we're also going to need a dumbbell or something heavy to hold the band down. So lifting up the dumbbell, I'm going to bring it around and strap it to the handle. The first exercise is a hamstring curl. So bringing my foot into the band so that it's strapped on the back of the heel, I'm going to hop forward until I can get the band vertical when I lift my heel up towards my butt. My hand is on a wall and it's the same side hand as the strapped up foot. For the first exercise, I'm going to tilt my tailbone into a neutral position. This engages my core, but most importantly, it's going to help me squeeze this glute of the standing leg. This is critical with this exercise. Bring your knees together, flex your foot, and then pull your heel towards your butt as much as you can while squeezing the glute of the standing leg. You're going to hold that for 4, 3, 2, and then release. Couple key things. Bring the knees together. I'm not looking to bring my knee forward. That's not going to get you that hamstring curl. I also don't want my foot and ankle to be passive. I want to flex my toes towards my face to get the benefit in the hamstring. Tilt the pelvis, because that engagement of a stable hip is most of the benefit we're trying to get from these exercises, is how these muscles in the hips connect and stabilize with the glutes and the core. So make sure you tilt the pelvis every exercise. Even if you bring your hand to the front, I highly recommend it. Or bringing your hand to your glute to make sure that it feels like it's engaged. Flex the foot, pull, 4, 3, 2, release, tuck, squeeze, flex the foot, and pull, 4, 3, 2, release. Try not to lose your posture as well. Runners need to have upright posture, and engaging all of those muscles in the chain is exactly what we're going for. Do 8 to 12 repetitions, 3 sets on each leg. For the next exercise, we're going to be targeting the quadricep muscle, which is the front of the thigh. Once again, we're going to flex the foot and tilt the tailbone into a neutral pelvis while squeezing the glute of the standing leg. Bring the band onto the ankle and keep it loose for a second. With the foot down, I can start to feel what I'm trying to achieve in the leg. I'm pulling the toes, called dorsiflexion, and I'm squeezing this thigh bone, this thigh muscle, by lifting my kneecap. So I've got a heavily engaged leg. Then I learn how to tilt the pelvis while this leg is engaged and squeeze the glute. Now with whatever effort you have left over, that's where the resistance band comes in, as I lift the foot and try to keep the leg in that isometric position for 4, 3, 2, and then you release. Tuck, squeeze this back cheek, flex the foot, lift up, and breathe for 4, 3, 2, release. Just like the previous exercise, 8 to 12 repetitions, 4-second count, each leg, 3 sets. For the next exercise, we're going to target the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, and how they relate to the core and the glutes as well, making a triangulated structure that is very, very, very beneficial to hip stability as we're running, especially in those long miles. So I'm turning the bell onto the side a little bit, and I'm still standing next to the wall. This time I place the strap on the blade of my foot, and I'm going to walk away from the wall just a little bit more. If you need to adjust the bell closer to keep your hand on the wall, that's okay. Like the quad extension, I'm going to keep the foot low, dorsiflex the ankle, and make that quad tight. Then find your neutral pelvis and your glute engagement and pull the band across the center line of your body as you continue to tuck and squeeze and flex for 4, 3, 2, then release. Make any adjustments that you need to make it feel more beneficial. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, release. Be careful that things aren't moving around. You're trying to stabilize the hips and then pull the bell with a flexed leg across the center line. 4 counts, 8 to 12 repetitions, 3 sets each leg. For our hip flexion exercise, we're going to stand a little bit behind the bell. Our goal is to be able to keep the strap vertical during the exercise. So, once again, hand of the same side of the strapped foot is against the wall for balance, so I can use this hand to help me feel my pelvic tilt and or my glute engagement. I never want to lock my knee on the standing leg. It's a soft knee. I don't, especially if you're hypermobile, I don't want you to just shove your knee back into a leg lock position. So a little micro bend in the knee to tuck the tailbone and squeeze the leg. From here, I flex my foot and I'm going to bend my knee up as high as I can without collapsing my structure. So chest up, hip pelvis engaged, flex the foot and pull up for 4, 3, 2, that's 1. Release the tension. Tuck and engage, flex, good posture, eyes at the horizon, pull, 4, 3, 2, that's 2. We're targeting the hip flexors, which are pretty tight on runners, but tight hip flexors don't mean strong hip flexors. That's very important to understand. So we've got to work those hip flexors, especially for those later miles in our races when our body's feeling worn down. 8 to 12 repetitions each leg, 3 sets, do your 4 count. For our final exercise in our bulletproof hips, we're going to bring the resistance band right above the knees, and we're going to come down into a tabletop position. We're going to be targeting the glute medius muscle on this exercise, and the glute medius muscle is a great hip stabilizer, but more importantly, for those of you guys who have tight IT bands, it usually is an indicator that the glute medius is weakened and needs some more developing. So hopefully you'll have some IT band relief as that glute medius becomes a little bit stronger. Now, this exercise is called the Hydrant, so my hands are going to come underneath my shoulders and I'm going to rotate my elbow pits forward and pack my shoulders down. The goal will be to not let the elbows collapse. So that corkscrew action with shoulder pack is going to help me engage my torso and get more isolated motion in the glute medius. With my back straight, I'm going to exhale and flex my foot and lift my leg out laterally for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it back down. Watch the opposite elbow. That's the one that wants to bend. So as I lift the leg, you see a lot of stuff going like this, and that's just people trying to lift their leg more without using the glute medius. So if I lock that elbow, I have to use the muscle that I'm intending for in this exercise. If you want to make this a little bit harder, when you come back down, don't let the knee touch the ground, but try to flex the foot, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. 4, 3, 2, 1, release. 8 to 12 repetitions on each leg, 3 sets each side.